Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the topic mining sequence pattern in the transactional database. So this is the third topic that we are going to discuss in the unit 5. So coming to the sequential data. So sequential data patterns is something where you find the series of or sequence of a data using either the time series. So it has the link between the time series, so you can find the patterns which are whichever occurring in the time period a particular sequence may occur, so those patterns are being recognized. Okay, what are the applications of the sequential pattern mining is, for example, if you take any customer who is buying a computer, he may at the same month he may also buy the RAM, the extendable RAM, or he may buy the pen drive. So these are the transactions where he is buying in the same sequence of that particular month when he is buying a computer. So you can have this type of sequence, or you may take another example like a banking where every customer is given the sequence ID. This suppose the customer 1 is coming. If he's done certain transactions in the that particular month, suppose in the one particular month he has drawn a amount of 10,000 where the withdrawal is done, then he may put the money into the credit the money into the bank, so the credit operation, or he may transfer the money to some other person, so transferring. So like this there are number of transactions. That means every customer is having certain sequences that may be followed in that particular month. So those are the sequences that we can say. So you have the regular sequences you can see in the customer shopping, or you may see in the medical treatment. Suppose a person is opting or going for the hospital, and he may have the checkup for one particular month, he may visit for 5 or 6 times. Then whatever the reports that are being collected, it will be put into the form of a sequences. Then you can see the in the natural disasters, so mining the data related to the natural disasters or the stock markets, or you can also see in the telecalling patterns or web clicks or DNA sequences. So all these come under the sequence patterns. So generally the sequence patterns are being evaluated into two. One is the transactional sequence patterns or frequent patterns based on the transactions, or the frequent patterns based on the biological. So today we are going to see about the transactions based sequence patterns. So what is meant by a sequential pattern mining? So a given set of sequences that find the complete set of frequent subsequences. Suppose if we have these sequences like this, which is said to be the elements in the sequence which are unorderly, which are listed unorderly, then we are going to find out the subsequences which are being occurred frequently. So in suppose we have a database of having the transactions about 4. So in these transactions you can observe that most we are going to form the certain sequences that are occurring. Now when you observe here, the A, B, C is occurring for more number of times, then you say this particular data as a subsequence data or a sequence data. So we are putting for every database to find out the frequent pattern, we use the measure called as support. So minimum support here we have taken as 2. So the support threshold value will be put, and we are going to find out the certain patterns. Now in the sequential pattern mining, there is a huge number of patterns that are going to be hide out in the databases. So we need to find out the complete set of patterns, and it should also satisfy the minimum threshold value. And you should see that whatever the algorithm we are using, the algorithm should be efficient, and it should also be scalable, and it should always uses the minimum number of scans, and it should also have the whatever the user specified conditions are given, it should also satisfy those conditions. So we have the algorithms. So in these algorithms we have three methodologies. One is based on the a priori method, pattern growth method, and vertical format based method. So these were introduced by the Agrawal and Srikanth in 95. And in a priori based method, we are going to use a method called as generalized sequential pattern. So it was introduced in the year 96. And in the pattern growth methods, we are going to see either you can see free span or a prefix span method, which was introduced in the 2001. And vertical format based mining, you are using a method called as SPADE, which was introduced in the 2000. And coming to the mining closed sequential pattern, which was introduced in the 2003. So coming to the first pattern, that is the a priori based method. So in the a priori based method, we are going to use the set of sequences. So in this database, we have about 5 number of sequence IDs and set of sequences, and we need to find out the frequent patterns in that. So we are going to see the frequent which are not frequent. So when you observe here, there is a less chance of occurring of HB infrequent and so on. By using the a priori property, we can say that using an a priori algorithm, we find the frequent pattern mining. So coming to the algorithm, that is generalized sequential pattern mining using based on the a priori algorithm. So in the a priori algorithm, like we know that we are going to generate the candidate sets and we are going to prune that particular data which are infrequent by using the minimum threshold value. If it is not satisfying by those candidates, we are going to eliminate. Similar mannerly, we are going to use in the sequential patterns also. So in the generalized sequential pattern also, the algorithm is like this. So initially every item in the database is taken as a candidate, and at the each level we are going to scan the database and collect the support count for each candidate sequence. And if the candidate length sequence is using that sequence is not satisfying the support count, then we are going to eradicate and repeat until there is the no frequent sequence can be occurred. So like that we are going to take the data. So by using the a priori algorithm, how we are pruning the which are not satisfying the minimum support, the same thing we are doing over here. So here is the example. So we are taken the set of candidates and the minimum support. So in this particular transactions, so we have the set of sequences where A is having the 3 values, that is A is over here, then over here. So A, so 3 are the minimum support. So B is again 5. So B is occurred in the 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. And C occurred in the 10, 20, 40 and 50. And D occurred in the 10, 40 and 50. And E occurred in 20, 40 and 50. So likewise we are going to put all the candidate sets. So we are going to see which are the candidates are not satisfying the minimum support value. So if it is not satisfying the minimum support value, we are going to cross out those values and we are going to find out the combinations of all the values. So like this, A, B, AC, AD, AE and AF. Similarly BA, BB, BC, BD, BE, BF. So like that we are going to find out the combinations and each we are going to take the support count values. If the support count values are satisfied, then we are going to put the values for the next candidate level, and we are going to apply the third level, and we are going to find out the what are the frequent patterns. So likewise we are going to follow and we are going to see. So whenever we are going to take these values, so we are going to eliminate the values which are not coming under the minimum support, and we are going to prune the values. So without the a priori property, these are the candidates that we are going to have. So we are going to in the GSP mining. So these are the candidates that cannot pass the minimum support values, and the candidates are not in the database at all. So AB, which is not there in this particular database, so these are being eliminated, and also the passes which are not having the support threshold value. So all these values are removed, and we are going to find the frequent pattern. So this frequent pattern will give the frequent sequence values, subsequence values. So huge set of the candidate sets has to be generated. The drawbacks related to this particular GSP is the same drawbacks that are there in the a priori algorithm. That is, we need to find out the more number of candidate sequences that has to be formed, and you need to always scan, multiple scans have to be performed for the database. And we have the, if at all, if there is a short pattern, then it will be very working of this particular will be efficient. But if there are sequence of patterns are more, then what happens is you need to attain more number of sequential pattern has to be there. So this becomes a very headache value to generate. So coming to the next methodology, that is SPADE algorithm. So SPADE algorithm is nothing but sequential pattern discovery using the equivalent class. So this is based on the vertical format sequential pattern mining. So in the a priori we have the horizontal as well as sequential. So previous one was based on the horizontal format, and this was based on the vertical format sequential pattern mining. So this was in this methodology we have sequence ID as well as the and element ID. The sequential pattern mining is performed by growing the subsequence one item at the time of a priori candidate generation. So here when you take the SPADE algorithm, you can find there is a sequence IDs are given as well as element IDs are given, and items that are there in the sequences. So in 1 we are going to have A and so on we have in the database. Now once you have this particular, we can form the table in which we are going to give the all the candidates with the sequence IDs as well as the element IDs. So for A, it is occurred at 1 and it has occurred in 1 it has occurred in 1 3, 2 1, 2 4, 3 2 and 4 3. Similarly for B, it has occurred in 1 2. So 1 2 the B has occurred. It has occurred in the 2 3, 3 2, 3 5 and 4 5. Once you have found out the individual values of all the elements for A, B, C, D and E and F, so till whatever the elements are there, then we find out the combinations of these particular elements. So this for combination of elements are find out using the element IDs. So you need to see that the element IDs that we are taking, the B value should be always greater than the values that are in the combination in the first value. That is, here you have A, B. So the B value should be more than rather than the A value. So when you take the values that are occurred, so here you can observe that it has occurred at 1 2. So 1, 2 we are taking. Similarly, we are taking 1, 3 and 2, 5. So 2, 5 and also 3, 5. 2, 5 and 3, 5. Similarly, for BA also, we need to take the combinations, and A should be greater value and B should be of less values. So the EID, that is element ID value of B should be always less and always greater for A in case of this element. So element ID for B A is nothing but in 2, 3. So 2, 3 we have occurred the values. So combination of 2, 3 we are going to apply. So here that is SID of 1, 2. SID of 1, 2. So same SID value should be there. But the element IDs, you should take the values. For the second value it should be greater and the first value it should be smaller. So element IDs for both the values 1 is there, but it is 1, 2 it is occurred. So 1, 2. The combination of values that can be occurred is also 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 values it is being taken. Okay. Then here in the second value 2, 3. It has occurred for 2, 3. So 2, 3. And we can also take the combination of A as 4. 2, 3 and 4. So here we can take 2, 2, 3 and 4. The values that are higher, take it as here. Okay. Here also when it is occurred for 2, 1, 2, 1. Here you have the combination for 2, 1. So here you have 2 and 1. Here there is a combination with 2 with only 3 values. So you can put 2, 1 and 3 in the B value. Okay. Similarly for here 3, 2. So it has occurred, AB has occurred for 3, 2. 3, 2. Now B value should occur. So 3, 2 has been there, but we cannot take 2 value because both are same. So we are going to take 3 and 5. So the SID values are same. Now for B value it is greater than the A value. So we are going to take the combination as 2, 5. Similarly for 4, 3, here the combination is 4, 5. So both SID values are equal. So A value is taken as 3 and B is taken as 5. Like that we are going to apply. And for the next iteration, we are going to take AB, A, AB, A. So AB, A, again you need to find out A, B, and here you should have a largest value. So A should have smaller value than B and B should have a smaller value than A again. So when you observe here, both the SID values. So in the SID values, you can take here 1, 2 and 3. So you are writing as 1, 2 and 3. And here you can take in the second value 1, 3 and 4. So similarly 1, 3 and 4. So like that you are going to take the number of patterns, sequence pattern you are going to form. So here also we are going to get a huge set of candidate sets, and we can find out that is 100 frequent length minus 1 sequences if there are there. Then we are going to get these many number of candidates. So here also multiple scans of the database in the mining, and we are going to use the BFS, and you need to represent them in a short candidate. So we are going to represent like this. So these many number of sequences can be present. So coming to the next method, that is prefix or a suffix projections. So before going to the prefix span, we need to represent them using the projection. So what is meant by prefix and suffix projections? So when you have the combination of sequences like this of A, B, C, like A, B, C, D and so on with the certain prefix values. So you can also represent them using the A with the total values of that is lying in here. So similarly you can represent by using, so when you are finding number of sequences, then you can using this AA as a combination, you can write other things like B, C, A, D, F, N. Now when you take AB as the prefix value, then you write down from the C value. So like this you are going to write for the prefix values. So mining the patterns by using prefix projections. So we are going to take all the elements that are existing in the database. Then we are going to divide the search space and we are going to put them into 6 subsets. And every one we are giving certain prefix values with A, B and so on till F value. And with respect to that prefix value, we are going to generate the whatever the frequent patterns that we can attain. So by taking first with A projection values, we are going to mine this particular data and we are going to see those values having the minimum threshold value, and those which are not having the minimum threshold will be, those which are not having the minimum support will be eradicated. So like that, in this here also we are going to find out, once this threshold value has been satisfied, we are going to go for the next level and we are going to form the prefix value for AA. Then again we are going to find out for AB, then AC, AD, AF and so on. We are going to find out all the prefix value and find out the values that are satisfied by the support. So here where the prefix span, we can do, these are the sequences that are existing. So initially we are going to put all the elements in this particular values. Then for the each value, so prefix value having A, we are going to project all the data that is there and we are going to scan that particular database. And once you have find out, then we are going to find out for AA till AF all the values we are going to take, and we are going to find out the patterns that are coming. Simultaneously for B we are going to do, simultaneously for the C we are going to do, until F values we are going to scan at the same time and take all the values that are being frequently occurred values. Then we are going to put them as the values of sequence that are coming. So here there is no candidate sequence need to be generated. So since we are not performing the candidates, just we are taking the support values and we are eliminating. So every time there is no projection, and since the more all the elements are done simultaneously in the database, the efficiency is also easily, that is efficiency is also increased, and the projected database will always keep on shrinking. Those are the values which are not minimally supported, so they are removed. So it is keep on shrinking the values, and the cost value for the prefix spans will be improved, that is using the pseudo projections. So here in the pseudo projections, so how we are going to see is, since we are doing the all the values simultaneously, similarly here also we are going to use the postfix of sequence that appear repeatedly in the recursive projected database. So how we are going to do is, we are going to use the pointer to a sequence and offset of that particular postfix. So if you are taking a sequence and with the prefix values, we are taking the minimum support values as 2 and we are putting in projection. Then once you are done, then using the AB value, we are going to do the values and we are putting as 4. That is, we are putting the minimum value as 2. Earlier it was 2, now it was 2, so it became as 4. So like that, all we are going to collect the data using the postfix. So this avoids the physical copying of postfix. So every time you need not copy them. So it is already updated every time. So efficiency in the runtime and space when the database is held in the main memory. So more efficiently it works rather than the earlier method of not using the pseudo prefix manner. And it can fit into the main memory, and it can easily access where random accessing method can be used. Then we have the integration of physical and pseudo projection, and swapping the pseudo projection when the data fits into the memory. So you can observe the performance of all the algorithms. So whenever we take the data sets of, suppose if this is the data set, so when we have applied, you can see for GSP, for free span, for spade and prefix span. Similarly, for this particular data set of Gazelle, we have seen there is less number of runtime is taken for the, or the more performance you can see in the prefix span rather than all the algorithms. Similarly, you can also see that when using the pseudo projection, the more performance is there compared to the prefix span without the pseudo projection. And coming to the last method, that is mining closed sequential pattern, that is closed span. So the closed sequential pattern is a pattern where there is no existence of the super pattern. For example, if you have the same support value of A, F and F over here, then we can combine these particular values into this. So it reduces the pattern by attaining the same expressive power. And using the backward subpattern and backwards super pattern rune, we are going to redundant the search space. So here also, when you use the prefix span and using the close span, so the performance is increased compared to the prefix and the common prefix manner. Then coming to the constraint based sequence pattern mining. In the constraint based, so when you say constraint based, we are specifically the user constraints are being given. So it has to be incorporate all the user specified constraints whenever we mine the data, and you should get the results in a form of optimized manner. So we can classify them using the anti-monotone, monotone, second and convertible. What is meant by anti-monotone? If the constraints are less than the values, and if the minimum support is greater, then we say that is an anti-monotone. That means constraints relating to the maximum or the minimum length is treated as a anti-monotone or monotonic constraints. And if a sequence does not satisfy the constraint, then neither it will also satisfy the super sequences, which can be said as a monotonic. That means whenever we can say if a particular element is not satisfying the minimum support value, minimum count value, then the superset will also does not support the minimum super count value. Then coming to the second values, a constraint is said to be the second if all the sequences guarantee to satisfy the constraints, then we can say it is the second values. Suppose if the values, that is length of the sequences, should be greater than or equal to 10 if we are giving, then whatever the sequences that are satisfying all the constraints are, if they are satisfying, then we can say those values are circuit values. If the values are satisfying the count greater than the values that are given, then we can say it is a monotone. If it is not satisfying the values, length of those values, then we can say anti-monotone. Then convertible. Convertible values are the values which can easily be converted. Like you can say the maximum value, average value, mean value, median values. So where you can convert the average values to the mean values, median to the minimum values. So like that we have certain values where we can convert. So profit sum is nothing but we are going to find out the all the sums and find out the profit divided by the number of elements. And if you say the maximum values that are there, then find out the values that are there and find out the maximum in that. Then like that we are going to have the convertible values, and there are certain values which are not convertible. Then coming to the sequential patterns to the structured patterns. So here in the databases, we can take the sets or sequences or trees or graph or other structures. So we have set of items related to the sequences or set of trees, set of graphs we can represent, and we are going to mine the pattern in the XML documents or biochemical structures. So using the episode pattern mining, so we have the serial episodes, that is one by one, parallel episodes, that is parallelly running, one A and B are running parallelly, and regular expressions. So methods with the episode patterns can be pattern mining, various with the algorithms like GSP, and projection based pattern code similar to the frequent pattern without candidate generation. Then we have the periodic analysis. So in the periodic analysis, every time is being taken as a full periodic value. Partial periodic value is nothing but every week if we are taking, then we can say as a partial periodic. Cyclic periodic is nothing but if you are taking the Fourier transformation and other statistical analysis, and if you take the partial or a cyclic periodic, that is variation in the a priori method, then we can say as a priori like mining methods. Thank you.